Okay, the oven and a pizza stone are preheating to 450 degrees. I have put the tomatoes, diced tomatoes and the tomato paste in a pot, and I have heated it up, but we'll get to that in a second. The yeast concoction is getting nice and frothy here. It's been about 5 or 10 minutes. I'm just going to stir it up a little bit. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now that it is frothy, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and let's see what else goes in here. I think that'll do it. I think I forgot to mention that we do need some cheese for the pizza, so I have some lovely mozzarella cheese here. And for the topping, a secret that I've figured out by myself is when the pizza is almost ready to go in the oven, sprinkle a small amount of feta cheese on top. Even if you don't like feta, it blends in and it gives it a nice little tangy extra flavor that people say, what is that? I've chopped up my garlic here, and I'm going to try to turn the camera around to my stovetop and get it so that we're focused on the sauce. I like to add, of course, some salt and pepper to the sauce. Salt and pepper, and maybe a tiny bit of red pepper flakes, if you like that. If you don't, leave it out. A little tiny bit of garlic powder that does not come from China. You need to look for garlic powder that's made in the USA, which is not always easy to find, believe it or not. I don't even care if it's organic or not. If it comes from China, I don't buy it because they're not careful with their food things. Here is some oregano, very important, and we're going to add a little more oregano once we get the pizza just about ready to go in the oven. Okay, so here is the lovely sauce. Yeah, and I have already cooked the veggie chicken, so and chopped it up, so that's all ready to go. The oven is still preheating. I'm going to take the pizza stone, which is warmed up now, out so it's ready to use when we're ready with our dough. Okay, bear with me a minute here as I turn back around. We're going to focus on the dough. So here is my flour. We're just going to put a teaspoon of salt. I like to just mix it in with the flour. You can do whatever you like with it. Teaspoon of salt. At the moment, to start the dough, it's easy. It's much easier than a lot of people think, including me. We're just going to put 2 cups of this flour, mix that in with the dough, and save a cup or so out for when we're kneading the dough. This is so easy, so much easier than my past experiences with pizza dough. Add the extra ½ a cup of warm water at this point and just stir it around with your yeast mixture and your flour till it gets nice and mixed in. Okay, it's starting to mix together beautifully. And now we can add the rest of the flour and start to knead this combination. Remember, we added 2 tablespoons of olive oil to it. Now we're getting somewhere. It's starting to hold together enough that we can punch it and knead it and mix it up and make it nice and smooth. This just takes a few minutes, and I'm gonna turn the camera off for a minute and let this sit for about 10 minutes. Once it's nicely mixed together, it needs to rise, but just for 10 minutes. You don't have to spend all day making this pizza crust. It's very fast, very delicious, a lot less expensive than frozen or ready-made pizza crusts, which happen to have what they call food-grade plastic in it. Okay, they add plastic because they think it makes the dough more flexible and easier to use. So I'd rather not have plastic in my pizza. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera off. We're going to let this sit here in a nice warm spot for just about 10 minutes, and then we'll be ready to make our crust and add all the ingredients together.